Bienvenidos de vuelta. Welcome back, okay? Here we have the imperfect subjunctive. So, the imperfect subjunctive is the past subjunctive. You recognize the imperfect, this word at least, imperfect, last semester when you were learning preterite versus imperfect, okay? So, that's something that has happened in the past. So, that should tell you that the time of the action, and now we're sticking with the same mood. We're sticking with the subjunctive. Okay. So what is the imperfect subjunctive? It's the past subjunctive. It's referring to things that require the subjunctive, but in the past. Okay? So, do you remember when to use a subjunctive? You use the subjunctive primarily with the doing. Okay? So now, we're going to take these verbs and place them in the past. And when we place them in the past, that's how we know that we're going to be using the past subjunctive, the imperfect subjunctive, in the second clause of the sentence, okay? So, for example, doubt, dudar. What's the way that you can express doubt in the past? I always stick with the yo forms, but obviously you could use any form. Yo dudé or yo dudaba. Tu dudaste, tu dudabas, okay? So, let's stick with this. Yo dudaba que él venir a la clase. I doubted, or I used to doubt, that he comes to class. Okay, so you know that you have to use the subjunctive, okay? Why do you have to use subjunctive? Because you have doubt. Now, you ask yourself, okay, I know I need to use subjunctive because I have a verb that requires a subjunctive. Now I look at my sentence and I say, okay, do I use the present subjunctive or do I use the imperfect subjunctive? You're going to use the imperfect subjunctive because it's going to be in the past, okay? So you know, how do you know it's in the past? Because you have doubt in the past, dudaba. So what are you responsible for? You have to know how to at least recognize the past tenses, okay? If you don't remember how to do the past tenses, the preterite or the imperfect, obviously you can go online and find them. They're also in your book. Check your last semester notes too, okay? Everything is in there for you. So, dudaba que él blank a clase. So you have the verb venir. Now you're asking, how do we form the past subjunctive? How do you form the past subjunctive? For any verb, any verb, doesn't matter if it's AR, ER, IR, you're going to take the eos preterite. Do you remember the eos preterite of venir? Ooh, I picked a good one. Why? Because venir has an irregular stem. Do you remember it? It's vin. So vinieron. Okay? So you take the eos preterite. Vinieron. Your second step is to drop Ron. Okay? Drop Ron. Oh, sorry, Ron. We're going to leave you out. So we're going to drop him, and every verb in the eos preterite will end in Ron. Okay? So doesn't matter if it's AR, ER, IR, they're all going to end with this. So you're going to drop it. So what are you left with? Vini. Vini. Okay? And then your third step is to add ra, ras. Ra, ramos, rice, ran. Okay? So, in this case, where do we have? Dudaba que él, yo, tú, él. Que él viniera. ¿Vale? Viniera. Like that. Okay? What page is this on? The imperfect subjunctive. One thing I want to mention. Okay, whenever you have the nosotros, it's always going to have an accent mark on this vowel here. Okay, whatever that vowel is, it's going to have the accent mark before the ramos. Okay, the imperfect subjunctive is on page 459. Okay, 459. So on this page, you will see the imperfect subjunctive. Okay. Now, let's talk about it. It's a little bit more complicated than this, okay? Because not every time that you see something like this in the past tense, you know to use the subjunctive. This isn't the only way that you use the imperfect subjunctive. There are other uses too, okay? So, I said that the imperfect subjunctive is referring to the action in the past, which action am I talking about? Am I talking about the action that comes before the K or after the K? Am I talking about the independent clause or the dependent clause? Where does subjunctive typically occur? In the dependent clause after K, okay? But not every time you see K, you know to use subjunctive. It has to happen after one of these, doing. Okay, so we use the imperfect subjunctive when this, after the K, when the independent clause has happened in the past. Does that mean that anything comes before this has to be in the past? No. Okay, I'll give you an example with the emotions, okay? Yo estoy contento que tú blank. Estoy contento que tú the verb poder venir a mi casa. Now you're looking at this and you say, ooh, easy. Okay, estoy contento. It's going to be an emotion, yeah? Yes, it's an emotion, so we have to use subjunctive. Now, present subjunctive or past subjunctive. Okay, let me tell you something. They're both correct if you use present subjunctive or past subjunctive. Estoy contento que tú puedas venir a mi casa. I'm happy that you can come to my house. Or, I'm happy that you could have come to my house. Que tú pudieras venir a mi casa. So either one of these would be correct, okay? You could either have the present subjunctive or the imperfect subjunctive. So obviously you know why you could use the present subjunctive, because we have an action in the present, and this therefore has to follow that, okay? But you could also put it in the imperfect subjunctive. Why? Because I'm happy that you could have come, that you came to my house, okay? Yes, that action has already passed, but you're still happy about it. So maybe somebody came to your house yesterday or last week or last year, and you're still happy about it in the present moment. That's why this is in the present subjunctive, okay? So when do you use the imperfect subjunctive? When you have, for sure, doing in the past tense, in the first clause, when it's either in the imperfect or the preterite. That's one way you use the imperfect subjunctive. You also use the imperfect subjunctive when the second clause is referring to an action in the past, like this example here. You also use the imperfect subjunctive when you're talking about a hypothetical situation. Hypothetical situation. So, for example, if I were rich, okay, I'm not rich, but if I were rich, if, si, without the accent, because you know si with the accent means yes. So, si yo fuera rico, if I were rich, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now, is this a complete sentence, if I were rich? No, you have to complete this sentence. How do you complete this sentence? When you have a hypothetical situation. How would you complete it in English? If I were rich, I would donate my money. For example, okay? So I would donate. This would or could, we call this would or could. We call this the conditional, okay? El condicional, conditional. How do we form the conditional? The conditional you have to pay attention to, because it's kind of like the future, okay? Remember how you form the future? You take the infinitive or the irregular future stem, and then you add the appropriate endings. That's the same thing that's going to happen here. You're going to take the infinitive or the irregular stem. Now, the irregular stems for conditional are the same irregular stems as the future, okay? So that's nice. You don't have to memorize a whole new set of verbs. Whichever verbs have an irregular stem in the future, they're going to have an irregular stem in the conditional. Okay, so you take that, And then you add the appropriate ending. So let's think of a verb that has an irregular stem in the future. There were 12 of them. Can you think of one? Let's see. How about we think of tener. Okay, tener. Tener. The irregular stem in future is tendre. Okay, tend. T-E-N-D-R. Now, in the conditional, depending on the tense, it's very easy. Yo tendría, tú tendrías, él tendría, tendríamos, tendríais, tendrían. Okay? Ella, ellas, ella, íamos, íais, ían. And this is all on page 462. Okay? Page 462 in your books has this, okay? So this is I could have, you could have, he could have, we could have, y'all could have, they could have, okay? So what's nice about the future and the conditional is that it doesn't matter if the verb is AR, ER, IR, it's going to have the same endings, okay? The only thing you have to memorize really are the endings and the irregular stem, because everything else is going to be using the infinitive. Now, there is one verb I do want to just point out to you. El verbo querer. Querer. Do you remember what querer is? The irregular stem is in querer. It's quer. Quer. Okay? You gotta roll your R's for that one. Okay? So I'm going to ask you, what's the difference between quería? Well, you know that. This is an irregular stem, right? And here you have the ia ending. So it's going to be el, ella, usted. So he could want, she could want, you could want, it could want, whatever, okay? What's the difference between quería and quería? Quería. With one R. The one R, this is the imperfect, okay? What you learned already last semester, okay? This is in the past tense. This is he wanted, she wanted, versus he could want, or she could want, okay? So one little letter makes all the difference, ¿vale? So, just keep that in mind, okay? Let's go back to our example. If I were rich, I would donate all my money. Yo, the verb to donate is donar. Yo, and it doesn't have any regular stem, so we're going to keep it in the infinitive and add the appropriate ending. Yo donaría mi dinero. If I were rich, I would donate my money. Here we have imperfect subjunctive, and here we have conditional. Does it always have to go this way? No. You could say, I would donate my money if I were rich, okay? Yo donaría mi dinero si fuera rico, okay? What did you notice here? That the imperfect subjunctive always goes with what? It goes with the si, okay? So it doesn't matter if you're going to have it in the beginning or the end. Just, remember this. Sick, like Spanish is sick to learn. Yeah, it's cool, it's sick. So you have si. The I is the imperfect subjunctive. And the C stands for, obviously, conditional. Okay, so just remember sick and you'll be good to go. Okay? Good. Some occasion where you always, and we never get to say this. We never get to say 100% for sure this is going to happen when we're learning a foreign language, because there are always exceptions. However, you always use the imperfect subjunctive when you have como si. Como si. As if. As if. Okay? Como si, you're going to use the imperfect subjunctive after, okay? Now, let me tell you something else. The imperfect subjunctive actually has two forms, okay? At this level, you're only going to be responsible for knowing this one, okay? The ra, ras, ra, ramos, rais, ran, okay? However, maybe in later future classes, especially in the literature classes, you'll see something like hubiese. Okay, this ese is also imperfect subjunctive, but we're not going to focus on that for now. Just a little bit at a time, okay? Good. So we've covered, what have we covered? We've covered the present subjunctive, the imperfect subjunctive, the future, the conditional, and I forgot, I'm sorry, to cover the present perfect, okay? But the present perfect is very easy. I will quickly review that for you right now, okay? El presente perfecto. Okay? How do we form the present perfect? We take haber, and then we add the past participle. So, the haber for yo, he, tú has, él, ha, nosotros hemos, vosotros habéis, ellos han. Okay? And then you add the past participle. If it's an AR verb, it's going to end in hado. So, for example, yo he hablado contigo ayer. I've spoken with you yesterday. Okay? So, also, how does this present perfect translate? Has or have done something. Okay? Same thing in English. You have has or have, which is your auxiliary verb, your helping verb. In this case, it's haber. And then I have done it. Okay? You have your past participle. So done in this case would be the past participle. Here it's hablado. I've spoken. Okay? Tú has vivido en España por mucho tiempo. You've lived in Spain. Okay? So, él ha comido una galleta, por ejemplo. So if it's an AR verb, it's going to end in ado. If it's an ER or IR verb, it's going to end in ido. However, you do have some irregulars, of course. Just like in English, you don't say we wrote it, right? For the verb to write, it's we've written. So, hemos escrito. Vosotros habéis dicho. Ellos han vuelto, they've come back, okay? It's from the verb volver. This is from the verb decir, and this is from the verb escribir. Okay, so the present perfect, what page is this on? This is, I believe, in chapter 11 or 10. Let me see. Yes, it's in chapter 11 on page 421. Okay, page 421. And you'll be able to see all of the irregulars there. Okay? Alright, I will be posting some other videos too, just to help us get through the rest of the semester. And obviously you can contact me through email, whatever it takes. Like I said, stay safe, and I hope to see you soon, and let's hope that this all goes well, okay? Bye guys.